Y'all clicked on our faces. Welcome to the Sports U podcast, where we read you sports news.
And you listen to our stupid ass opinions.
We are back with the Sports U crew right here. Let's start it off with the quick hits, right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and bring us in, Gift Man, with the first one.
Ravens signed Jim Harbaugh to a 3-year extension.
John Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh.
It's all
What'd
good.
I say?
Jim.
You said Jim.
I did?
And the only reason I corrected you is because there's literally his brother's name is Jim.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
John Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh, 3-year extension. Still no progress made on Lamar Jackson, though. It's all right. Everybody else going to get their bag first, and then they're going to dump the truck on Lamar.
Well,
They're going to dump that truck real soon on Lamar.
They're going to have to.
They're going to have to. They have to.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
One big thing is they have to start where Deshaun Watson is in the price. You know what I mean? He's an MVP. He's never had anything off the field. And come on, man. Your production up the wazoo.
Even now, Josh Allen, he should get more than Josh Allen.
You think he should get more than Josh Allen?
He's an MVP. Like you just said, he's an MVP.
That is true. He did win an MVP first before Josh Allen.
My only thing is I feel like starting. My only thing is I feel like Lamar is more of a team player. So we'll see what happens. But ultimately, this is not really a good sign when it comes to the Ravens. But let me say this much. Lamar Jackson did say through a tweet that he has no intentions of going anywhere else and that he's still working on a deal with them.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a big, Ravens for life type of guy right now. Loyal.
Yeah. Like, I don't think they're stalling because they can't come to a deal. I also think because, like I've seen him on Twitter recruiting. I think just he's waiting for them to see what they can get in free agency before he even, gets his hands into it.
I like that. Yeah. Kind of play your cards right. Don't put him out like that. Paul George, we actually had this in the quick hits because he was coming in, but he actually played yesterday. So after a 3-month absence, this man comes back, scores 34, drops 34, and actually it was like a 23-point comeback on the Jazz. Donovan Mitchell calls a timeout when they had none left to really seal the deal for the Clippers. Gifton, does this change? I'm sorry to interrupt. Does this change your outlook on Paul George and the Clippers this year? Because I know how you feel about Paul George. Pandemic P, that's your favorite thing to call.
That was a great pandemic, man.
Yeah.
The fuck?
It's Google. Hey, Google, pause. Can you tell him, Steven?
Hey, Google. Pause.
Pandemic P, I guess, sounds like play.
I was like, who the fuck got the soundboard? Nah, but because Paul George getting kind of old.
That's your analysis on anything?
Because
he doesn't have the style where it's like, it's all in my athleticism. He's very smooth with it. Takes his time.
No, he's always smooth with it. It's crazy to see him come back from, they were down, 15 or 20?
23.
23 in the game, and then he came back and dropped 34 after 3 months of not playing. That's crazy, but I mean...
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm just happy to see him back in action because that's a really good player. Even though he's on the Clippers, nobody likes the Clippers. I'm sure Steven can speak to that. Go on ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I would be one of those pandemic P guys too. I'm sorry, but you
got another one.
But even all
Poor
aside,
guy.
bro,
3 months away, couldn't
cool.
escape it.
It's cool. It's good he came back and had the good game, but long term speaking, I don't think that it's gonna produce to them going to the finals.
No, I'm not saying necessarily that. I'm just happy that he is back though, and he came back nice, and they were able to come back on a Jazz team that seems to be spiraling downward.
We don't care about the Jazz.
A lot of people don't. Let's get into the next one here. The Cowboys owner Jerry Jones on trading Amari Cooper. We were talking about Amari Cooper in the past and how much of possibly in him not having that dog mentality in him.
Yeah.
This is what Jerry Jones had to say about it. We made a decision that allocation should be better spent somewhere else. Well, can you? I think that just confirms what we had to say, right?
$100 million on him, bro. I told you.
Do you think it's more of the amount, or do you think it's more of his not his production, but his attitude? And I'm saying Jerry was really upset that he didn't get vaccinated, and now he was out for those 2 weeks.
I agree. I think that added on to it, but it could. But him not being the game to game, I'm gonna go get 100 yards guy. I'll only do it maybe when we're at home, or maybe if we're playing the goddamn Jags, even though he probably didn't. But like I'm saying, he pick and chooses the games he wants to go off. So that's what I'm saying. If he had that mentality every game, for sure, yeah, he's a top 10 receiver.
How about you gifting after Jerry Jones? Him out of here.
Man, I would probably have to say the dollar amount for sure.
Yeah.
Because Jerry Jones is honestly, Jerry doesn't mind breaking the bank for somebody who
they
he
didn't draft
really
him either.
And Jerry doesn't mind really breaking the bank for somebody who he really believes in.
Look
We
at
just
Gallup.
seen it with Amari Cooper, Gallup, so Dak. He does.
Zeke got his bag.
He doesn't mind breaking the bank for those guys.
Jalen
but
Smith
the
got
fact
his
that-
bag.
The fact that
Smith,
he
before
broke
he got
the
cut.
bank and then he didn't do what Jerry asked him to do, of course he gonna get his ass up out of here.
Yeah, he pretty much lied because they were saying like the Cowboys were all vaccinated or something. I think too.
Well, he was like, he just did a little disappointing, and I mean that can speak towards the attitude. Well, not the attitude part, but his overall. Come on, man! Like, we're paying you to be a really big piece, and you not playing or you not committing in this type of way. And it sucks to have a vaccination be like, oh, he's not committed, but that's what it kind of feels like. That's what it kind of feels like.
mean,
Gifting. Oh, go ahead.
It was one thing added on to all these other things. We don't see his motor. He's not consistently
That's
there.
the best way to put it. His
Like
motor.
you can't be not there all the time if you're getting $20 million a year, bro. That's like I'm sorry, that's just a bit much. If he was getting $13 million a year, he'd probably still be on the team right now. But 20,
I feel that. The MVP ladder for the NBA has been going crazy. Let's just talk about the top 5 here. A lot of people have been coming up and going down. Joel Embiid, in the recent reports from experts, is leading. Then you got Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jayson Tatum, and then Luka Doncic rounding out at number 5.
Embiid's gonna win it. I don't care what happens. Embiid's gonna win it.
I've been saying it from the beginning that
It's his
if
turn.
you've been watching him this year, he is so insane. And then you also have a couple stints where Harden, even though he's on 76ers, he's either missed games because of his hamstring issues or he's just been playing poorly. And there he is, Joel Embiid, kind of coming to the rescue there. This recent matchup against the Bucks, it didn't necessarily work out. And I actually seen James Harden being the decision maker at the end, where I feel like the decision should be give it to the MVP. That's what the Bucks did with the MVP candidate. That's what the Bucks did with Giannis, and look where they got the win and also that block at the end. So they had a chance, but man, I really feel like, again, Joel is the MVP. But if I'm gonna have to pick, because of course it's all about narrative and all this shit, and it's his turn. That's how the MVP works. It's his turn, but Giannis is the real MVP in my opinion. Does anybody have anything else like to go against that or another pick?
Stevie?
yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not hard to argue against Giannis. Like I agree with it. Yeah, it's probably they're gonna be like, yeah, it's Joel's turn, but yeah, Giannis could definitely win a third, even though
That'd be
like
wild.
it's
I wouldn't
probably
be
Joel's
mad
turn.
at it, but I'd be wild to see Giannis win the 3.
If
And even Jokic, like I'm not saying Jokic should get it back to back, but yeah,
He's had the numbers.
He's
He's made a
definitely
great-
in the mix,
yeah,
bro.
for
He's
sure.
he's a threat.
Yeah.
So here's the stories in my opinion, right? If the most valuable player, what is your definition of the most valuable player, right? So if it's a story, then it should be Embiid. If it's how he makes everybody better, and with the cards that he's dealt, look what he's able to produce. It's Jokic.
Yeah.
If it's dominance, it's that man's Giannis once
Yeah,
again. So I feel like all three of them have the same type of thing. Jayson Tatum kind of cooled off, and Luka Doncic, I just feel like isn't on a good enough
not his turn
record
yet.
type of team.
It's not
Yeah,
his turn
he
yet.
has a lot more years to go, and all these other guys are again
Luka's
having a
gonna
better
get
year.
one, bro.
Luka's gonna
Yeah,
get
he'll
one.
get one
Jayson
eventually.
Tatum's gonna get one.
You know how
just-
it is.
It's
It's your
not
turn.
their turn.
It's your turn.
Exactly.
But do you guys agree with that kind of narrative on each one of those guys?
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it kind of is. So
Yeah.
take your pick. What do you prefer is the most valuable in the aspect? Get to bring in the next one, my guy.
Man, speaking of Jayson Tatum, Celtics Robert Williams torn meniscus out indefinitely. Just had surgery yesterday, so he'll be out for 4 to 6 weeks. And boy,
least it's only that.
it sucks that they lost Robert Williams going into the playoffs. Because
It does.
man, that was probably the best. Oh, was that far away?
No, you're fine.
That was probably like the team's best paint defender for sure than fucking Al Horford or Daniel Tice.
Today,
Al
go
Horford's slow.
ahead.
Al Horford's slow.
You're good.
So I'm watching this Miami Heat game. We were talking about it a little bit
I saw
in the
Horford.
past one.
Just fucking. Slowly shifting.
He's never
he's
really
funny.
been like a defender like that.
He's been-
bro.
I
In
think he
Atlanta,
hustles.
he was going
He's a good
crazy.
hustler.
Now it's like
and he has a good IQ. He knows where
now,
to be.
now
yeah,
it's like, oh,
like
my back.
okay, like
He has the intimidator badge, dog.
Silver.
On silver.
I wouldn't give him that bad.
Re-
Like,
well, go ahead.
yeah. I'm not saying he's bad. But my thing is, he's not one of those guys. I was saying, oh yeah, he's locked down. Don't go up against him.
I feel
type.
that.
You feel me?
So today I was watching the Miami Heat Boston Celtics game. We were predicting a lot of things, and I was ripping into my Heat talking about this is ridiculous 4-game losing streak. You're top of the Eastern Conference. You're facing these guys right here. They're gonna be at home. You need to put up or shut up right now. I wasn't confident, and I was wanting to light a fire under their ass. They proved me wrong, and I'm happy they proved me wrong. One of the biggest things, though, was that Robert Williams wasn't there. Of course, we just mentioned it right now that he's injured. It was a big deal because we were able to get into the paint. There wasn't that much defensive prowess in that, and also Jayson Tatum was silent in the fourth quarter. We pulled in a zone. They were able to really give him, force the ball out of his hands, and Jaylen Brown was able to come through for that, but it just wasn't enough in the end. A lot of fouls going either way, but the Heat out-hustled them, and ultimately this team looked very, very good. There's a lot of ups and downs, but one key part in it, and we were talking about it last week, Kyle Lowry averaging 13 points is ridiculous, and also Duncan Robinson, 20 mil Robinson, needs to put up.
Bro.
So he didn't really
it's not
do anything to
nothing
make
either.
that much of a change, but Kyle Lowry putting up 28, I think it was, points today. Big change. That's what we needed. And he didn't show too much on the defensive side, but of course, having him on the offensive side when we have all this hustle somewhere else
I don't
was a big
expect
change.
much from him on the defensive side, but do you really do you think he will be a consistent 18-point scorer for you moving forward?
In the playoffs, I feel like Kyle Lowry. So Kyle Lowry has a history of in the playoffs pulling up for 30 and then dropping 8. And then pulling up for 30 again, and then dropping 8 on the Raptors, and that's why they were called the baby dinosaurs against LeBron James and the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
And that's Kyle Lowry's history. So hey, if he wins us 2 games, because the rest of our team can win us those other 2 games. If he wins us 2 games because he pops off, that's what I need.
Low-key, even in the finals with Kawhi, he did that too. Like, he had some games where he went off in the finals, but he
a little bit
had
more
couple
consistent, which was
games
nice.
where
But Fred VanVleet was the main dude in the
Big
finals,
head
baby.
Fred.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my dog,
Yeah,
bro.
he killed it.
I love Fred
Fred
VanVleet.
killed it. That.
Let's bring in the last quick hit here. Cavaliers rookie Evan Mobley leaves with sprained left ankle versus the Magic a couple days ago.
Damn.
The Cavs lost today. Gifton, I know that you've been high on this man all year long. What is your first impression on this?
It sucks because now that they're in the play-in spot, it's gonna be a little bit harder. It'd have been easier if they secured a 6 seed because they wouldn't have been as worried or as pressed. Now that they're in the play-in spot, because of the play-in, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Evan Mobley was clearly a big part in the offense and defense. So I mean, it's just next man up with the Cavaliers, really. So hopefully Isaac Okoro can come in and just fill that void.
Is Jared Allen still out?
Jared Allen's back.
I didn't think I'd seen him just in the highlights part, but I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really looked into that. So
Okay.